So I wasn't going to do a video on this, but it is still one of the most requested, most asked for problems out there in the personal development space. And 90% of the advice out there on the topic is still really bad. Why is it bad? Because it focuses on tactics and tricks. And if you get someone who, when you ask, how do you be more confident? They immediately launch into all these tactics. You know that's a red flag that maybe they don't know what they're talking about, because confidence is such a vague topic. Do you mean confidence in public speaking, in terms of basketball, confidence in speaking to women, confidence in playing chess? There's all sorts of different confidence and different ways of improving those, and not understanding that and just giving some one-size-fit-all answer, like some random tactic like I don't know, breathing slower, that's not always going to solve the issue. So I want to give you 10 tips that will really help you. And these are going to be game-changing tips, because they really dig into the core levels of understanding that you need to know about confidence, that really will take it to the next level. And at the end of this video, I'll mention the book I got a lot of these from for further reading. So the first one is that competence comes from confidence, and confidence comes from competence. What does that mean? What the heck does that mean? Basically, competence is how actually good you are at a skill. Because you're confident at playing basketball when you're good at playing basketball. You're confident at public speaking when you are good at public speaking and you've demonstrated that you can really perform well at that topic. Same thing goes for everything else, whether it's playing violin or playing baseball or talking to other people, strangers, making friends, or talking to women. So understanding that can really help you, because you will now understand that you need to improve your competence, the skill set itself, by practice, getting better at basketball, or getting better at the areas where you end up having more receptivity to talking to people and them opening up. That way, your confidence will naturally increase. And this is because our bodies naturally, specifically our brains, our psychology naturally has a social gauge, so that if you keep getting a lot of negative response, whether it's rejection or people just laughing at you, then your brain's going to tell you you shouldn't be confident at this. And that's a proper, accurate response for the brain to have. And it's evolved over thousands of years and passed down to you, because those who were overconfident or severely unconfident, they were oftentimes rooted out, because if you're overconfident that you can take down the saber-toothed tiger, you died. So realize that it is an actually good thing, and that it means that you are, at least to a certain extent, socially calibrated. Now what you want to focus on is improving the competence behind that. So let's move on to number 2, which is competence is domain specific. As referenced earlier, you could be really good and really confident at playing chess, but that doesn't mean you're really confident at public speaking or making a sale or talking to a stranger. So realize that competence and confidence, they don't translate to everything. Just because you're confident at one thing doesn't mean you're confident at everything. And that's another huge fallacy that you see with a lot of the answers, whether it's on Quora.com, Yahoo Answers, some blog article, some video you read. They don't address that, and that kind of references, it's a red flag that maybe they don't know exactly what they're talking about. Number 3, you must improve related areas to help with your competence. So basically what this means is find areas that actually improve how good you are at that skill. So since most people, when they're talking about confidence, they have issues with it when they're talking to a girl, you want to improve areas that actually improve the chances that a girl will be receptive to you and will like to talk to you and so forth. And of course, fortunately for you, there's so many different areas that you can choose from, and you almost always want to start with the ones that you're the worst at, because those are the things that will turn her off the most. And you want to solve those, because if you start with the things that you're already like doing all right with, then I mean, that's not as big as is an issue as the things that will really push or reject a girl away. So maybe for you, it's the fact that your hygiene is so bad, you don't shower, that just the smell of you rejects a girl. Or maybe it's the fact that your fashion sense is so bad and you don't even realize it, that it really rejects or repels a girl. Or maybe it's your social skills and conversational skills that need work, and you can't really keep a conversation going. There's so many areas. Maybe it's just the fact that you're a bit skinny, and if you just went to you exercise a bit, you could really look better, and that will improve the girl. Now again, a lot of people will sell you get rich quick schemes or get ripped fast schemes because they kind of appeal to your lazy side. But with exercise, that's going to take time. It may take 2, 3, 4 years to really get there. But just spending 10 minutes a day can really make a huge difference. And you're going to have to put in that work, but it's well worth it in the long run. And I met someone the other day. Again, I did a video on the topic, and he was just ripped. And I asked him how. And he just said he spent like 30 minutes at the gym. That's it. He didn't spend hours, but he's been doing it for over 10 years. So for you, just figure out what it is for you that's the weakest, and start working on that and practicing that. It could mean just talking to strangers or people you don't find attractive. Maybe it's male friends, maybe it's just female friends you don't find attractive, and just working on those social skills, and then working on improving your conversational skills. Maybe it's finding someone who really gets fashion and getting him or her to tell you the brutal truth about how good or bad you are with it. And if you're really bad, then investing in some knowledge on fashion. There's so many different areas that you can improve on that. Number 4, there are situations your confidence gauge is off. Like it or not, there are situations where you are one of those people who your competence is up there, your skill set is up there, but you're just really unconfident, or you're really overconfident. Now, again, it goes back to finding people who are brutally honest, who aren't biased, usually people who have known you for years or have observed you for a while, and you can trust to tell the truth. But these things happen, and it's usually when you're really overconfident. You know that guy who just like, he thinks he's so good at basketball or talking to girls, but he always gets rejected, or he always gets dunked on. Or maybe it's you're the opposite extreme, where everyone tells you that you're really handsome and you're good looking and so forth. And it's not just because they're your friends and they're buttering you up. Maybe you have that ugly duckling syndrome, where you still have that image of you as a child, that nerdy person. Even though you're muscular and you're handsome and you're successful in multiple ways, a lot of people who are nerdy as children suffer from this. In those situations, tactics will help, because it's more about mindset than actually improving your competence. And here's just a few suggestions. Meditation has scientifically been proven to really allow your different parts of your brain, like your prefrontal cortex, to disattach, so that you will not have overly exaggerated responses to social situations, especially social fear. And will really allow you to react more normally. Another one is affirmations. Another one is really just celebrating and reminding yourself of your achievements just in front of the mirror every day. And it may seem simple, but there's a lot of psychology behind it. It's Psychology 101. The basics really just show you that we tend to overemphasize the negative like tenfold compared to the positive. And again, that dates back to ancestral times, because back in the day, if you didn't overemphasize anything suspicious, it would have killed you. It would have been that like suspicious blade of grass that was green, that was orange, and it turned out to be a saber-toothed tiger. In modern times, it doesn't work that way anymore, and we overemphasize it, and it's to our detriment. It hurts us. So just avoid that. Another is maybe pumping yourself up with music. Again, really try out the celebrations and affirmations and meditations. There's this technique called the jar of awesome. Try it out. It's basically the celebrating yourself thing, but you make it a point to list out all the things that you're good at and that you've achieved, and you compile a lifelong list. So every day you're adding to this list so that you can read from it. Number 5, use small demonstrated success in your skill to build up confidence. So you want to just slowly build up and celebrate those successes as you build up that skill, so your mindset and social gauge adjusts. Again, I'm using a lot of fancy words, not on purpose. So let me try and explain this very simply. Let's say you want to get better at talking to girls. So you start with something small. Maybe it's just approaching a girl, and then you celebrate the fact that this person actually was warm and didn't reject you. And then you slowly start working up more and more, and you just celebrate those skill set increases. Maybe you finally get to your first date, and then on your first date you finally are able to hold her hand. Celebrate all those small wins, and if you can slowly realize that it's more about the positive direction you're moving rather than beating yourself up over not achieving those big wins. If you're moving in the right direction, it can really help you more than any of the other stuff. Number 6, surround yourself with people that make you more positive. So now we're getting into the tactics more and more, and we're now going to be covering specifically social confidence, because that's usually the form that most people struggle with most. Now, why surround yourself with positive people? Because if you're in a more positive mood, which sometimes is detached from competence or confidence, maybe you're just having a bad day, your mood can fluctuate. If you're just more positive, people are more receptive and open to you, and it just compounds from there. The more receptive they are, the more better results you get, and then the more confidence you get. So really look to see how you can use these tactics to really compound your efforts and just make it turn into a snowball effect where everything just works and works and improves. So another one, number 7, is follow and model confident people. And again, you can build this on with another little technique, which is just smiling more. People light up, their neurons, specifically mirror neurons, light up when they see someone else smiling. They can't help but smile as well. And studies have shown that it has to be a genuine smile, because people can detect if it's fake. And so if you can do this, it's one of those things where it just compounds. If you surround yourself with people who are naturally confident, you naturally model them. And then if you add that on with the fact that you smile more, it just compounds, because now you're smiling more, now you're more confident, you're making other people more confident, and then people are more warm and open to you, and then it just improves the whole cycle. And then if you add that on to people who are more positive and make you feel better, it just improves. Number 8, use music to boost your confidence. I would even add not just music, but any type of thing or environment. And again, as long as it's not drugs, because drugs have a lot of negative effects. You don't have to choose drugs to get the same effect. It could be something as simple as wearing better clothes that just make you feel more confident, because you're more presentable. Girls find you more attractive because of that. It demonstrates skill. Plus, you just feel better because you have this new image and confidence about how you look, and it will get a better result. Maybe it's cologne. Maybe it's just going for a walk. Maybe it's just something that puts you in a better, more confident mood. Number 9, use good body language. Now for this, you just want to study. There's plenty of videos. Just study how successful, confident people choose a good role model, someone you think that you could potentially be one day, someone you admire. Just observe how they walk, how they move their head, how their posture is, how slowly or fast that they walk, and you'll notice how they move, how they gesture, and just start emulating that a bit. And usually they walk fairly slow, because someone who is high-powered or successful, they usually, once they're in the room, they have no need to like rush. They're not the paparazzi guy who's low value, who's like waving you down and chasing you. They are usually more so the center of attention, and therefore they don't have to hustle as much. So just understanding that and embodying that, and having the right posture can really help you. And it's not just a temporary trick. It also helps with your confidence, because people will see that and they're more attracted to good posture versus a really scrunched, hunched back, or posture that really holds you back in a way. And of course, there are situations maybe when you're walking into the room, or you're in the hallway, or you're out in the public, where you may want to walk a little bit quicker, because busy people, successful people have places to go. But just observe them and just see how they do it, and really just model them. Whatever they do, try it out. And of course, Amy Cuddy is one of many psychologists who have done great research into this. She actually did a whole TED Talk on the topic. And what they found is that physiology doesn't just follow psychology. Psychology can follow physiology. Now, what the heck does that mean? Basically, it means that if you think, most people used to think that if you thought that you were sad, then your body would naturally follow. It would express very sad body language. You'd be hunched over, you'd take up less space in the room, blah, blah, blah. But now science is showing that even if you're sad, if you open up and you show happy or confident or powerful body language, your hormones and psychology will actually change to the point where you're maybe secreting less of cortisol, which is a stress producing hormone, and more of the good hormone for you, whether it's testosterone or energy producing hormones. But the point is that you can actually, to a certain extent, change how you express your body, even if you're not feeling it, and changing how your face is, maybe smiling a bit more, maybe having a better power posture, and that will actually change your hormones and psychology. Now, Oprah Winfrey, I saw an interview of her, and she said that she stumbled across this herself before the science really caught up, and she said it was too much of a leap when she was having a really bad day to go from sad to super happy. So she would do baby steps. She would tell herself in the present tense, she wouldn't tell herself I'm super happy, but she would say something like, I am moving towards an excited state, or just something in the middle, or one step slightly forward. So maybe that's a little technique you can use. And number 10, the final one on my list, is talk slowly and eliminate uptalk. Now, I've done another video on this talking about uptalk and downtalk if you want more details, but the basic idea is successful people, they talk slowly. They also do not have uptalk, which is when at the end of your sentences you have an upward inflection of your voice, like, this is cool, or hey, how are you? Do you think this is the right solution? And I don't really do it as well consciously, but I used to a lot unconsciously, and maybe I still do a bit. I'm trying to stomp that out. But the reason why successful people don't uptalk is because low value people uptalk. Successful people usually have more down talk or neutral talk, which is basically just talking normally with neutral inflection or no inflection for all your sentences. And the reason why low value people use a lot of uptalk is because they're at the bottom of the social hierarchy, which isn't attractive, which is why you don't want to do it. And they do it because they're asking a higher authority for permission constantly. And so it almost gets ingrained into their nature, because they're always asking for permission, or yes sir, can I do this sir? And it just gets ingrained in their tone of talking. So you want to remove that, and you'll notice that it also kind of like changes how you think about the world. You stop acting in a subservient, spineless way as well. So try that out. And of course, there's even more you can go into it, but these are just like very minor details. There's this great book called The Secret Life of Pronouns. And the gist of the book, the summary, is that this mathematical psychologist genius, he did this huge computer algorithm and compared successful people to unsuccessful people and just analyzed all the words that they said. And he tried every possible combination and looked for every possible pattern. And the only pattern he could find was that successful people used more pronouns while unsuccessful people used more I and we pronouns. Why is that the case? Because successful people usually are talking, helping others, whereas unsuccessful or lower class, lower tier people are usually more selfish and asking for stuff like, can I do this? Just think about that, whether it's a student to professor relationship or employee to CEO. The employee or student's asking, can I get a better grade? Can I get extra credit? Can I get a raise? I. The CEO or the guy in charge, the professor, is saying, you can get that grade. He will help you with that. Please give me another day and and our organization will discuss this. It's more pronouns in that way. So maybe the gist of that book was simply they discovered this pattern, but maybe you can use that on top of all this and start using more he, she, we pronouns in your vocabulary, and it will, do that flip reverse effect where you will become more successful. Again, that last tip is just something I couldn't resist throwing in there. It's a bonus tip, but that last one is probably like very minor in terms of impact. You want to focus on the other 10 tips starting from the first one, and it really can make a huge difference. Hopefully you like this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.